Hey Gems, welcome to The Real Spill, your daily dose of real and raw conversations. I'm your host, Richana, and today we're going to be talking about taking a leap, whether that's you seeking a job or internship, and you don't feel like you're quite there or you don't feel like you're capable of doing it. After this, I'm hoping that you feel like you can. And so today I'm going to be sharing my own experiences in this conversation of me moving from Florida from miles away to another state, and that state being Utah. So you might be wondering why a Florida girl would go all the way to a snowy state. It was because in 2023, I was graduating from Florida A&M University with my bachelor's of science in journalism. I was looking for a job. Your girl had put off job searching until after graduation, which I definitely wouldn't recommend, because when I tell you that job search was, it was hard. It was no joke. It was definitely hard, and one of the trying times that I've encountered. The reason I put it off was because I wanted to focus on the class that I was failing, and that was math. I really suck at math, and so I had failed that class the first time, and I didn't want to fail it again because I really wanted to walk with my classmates. And so I decided to focus on that for a period until I graduated. And after graduation, I was going to put in the work to look for jobs. Fast forward, graduation comes, and I'm immediately sending in applications, tons of applications weekly. In the beginning, I got quite more interviews than I thought I would, because I didn't have really any. I had experience, but I didn't have like newsroom experience, if that makes sense. So I was putting in applications for anything like radio, producing, but what I really wanted was producing, radio producing. And I got interviews, but nothing came out of that. And so rejection after rejection, and 1 month stretching into 2 months of me not finding a job kind of piled up inside, where I kind of felt disheartened. I felt like seeing all your classmates get a job in their career field and you're not getting any callbacks, or if you do find something, it's part-time position, so it's not worth you moving or wasting money to move to another state for something that's only going to pay you for a little bit. And so that was all piling up on me, and I just felt like my mother's sacrifices were kind of in vain, because she helped me pay for my college and applying for Parent Plus loans. And so it was kind of hard to see the light, in a sense. Like, I didn't think after 2 months and it started to get into 3 months, I was like, ooh, am I going to be able to find a job? Is this degree going to go to waste? And I kind of fell into depression after that. I didn't want to be on social media. I didn't want to post on social media. I didn't even want to go on my walks that I like to go on. And if you know me, you know I can go on walks for hours and hours and just listen to music. I really didn't even want to get out of my bed. But during that time, I was working a seasonal position at Ross. And so I was working that job just to make some money on the side. And then that job ended once the season ended. So I was working in the summer, but I thought they were going to retain me because I've worked there since college. So I would go, once we had our summer break, I would go and work there for a little bit to save up money so I can use in college. And I was shocked that they didn't retain me, and it's probably because my energy was off, honestly. I didn't want to be there, honestly. I have a degree in broadcast journalism, and I'm working the same place that I left to go to college. And And so once that ended, I found another job. And I don't even want to say this is a job because honestly, the job didn't even last for more than 2 weeks. I worked for a week. I worked another day, and then I didn't hear anything back because they were supposed to call you once they needed you. It was kind of like a need-based job. So I called, and they said they would call me when they need me, and they never called me back. And I was only at that job for a week and a half. So I was on top of that, losing your Ross job, then losing the Stetson bookstore job. It was kind of all compiled on me. I'm like, I'm jobless. I don't have any opportunities in my career right now, and so I'm just over here feeling sorry for myself and feeling embarrassed. I didn't want to meet anybody who I knew because they were gonna ask me, Richana, when are you getting a job? What's happening with your job search? And I really couldn't give them an answer. Honestly, it was like me coming up with excuses like I'm just waiting to hear back. Honestly, yeah, I was waiting to hear back, but nothing was really panning out. So after 4 months of me just sitting in my emotions and not doing the things I've loved, I kind of got fed up of just sitting there being helpless. So I started to go back to church because that's one of the things that I kind of stopped doing once I came back, because I was just really focused on job searching. I didn't really want to be around people that I knew, except for family. And so I found a church that was different from the home church that I grew up in, and I started journaling. I started praying. I started writing down to God what I was seeking and what I wanted for myself and where I saw myself going. And it was kind of hard because, you're writing things down, but you have to keep a little bit of faith that things would work out, even though you hear doubts in your mind saying, you're never going to get a job if you haven't gotten a job already at this time. And so close to the 6-month mark, I got a call back. I got a letter of a job offer. And that job offer was in Utah. And the funny thing is, I applied to a second job in Utah that I was waiting to hear back from. And that job was a radio producer. And so I didn't even realize I had applied for 2 jobs in Utah. So it must have been for me to go to Utah, honestly, when I'm thinking about it. And so I got this job offer, and it was in news. And it was a news producer position, and I've never done really hard news. I've done hard news kind of in college, but it wasn't a route that I ever saw myself going into. So that was another feat for me. I was going into uncharted territories in the sense of I've never been in a professional newsroom. I've been in my college newsroom. So if you mess up, even though it was live TV, it's not as bad in a sense. So, and then the other feat was, how was I going to get there to Utah? I was broke. When I say I was broke, I don't think I even had $100 in my bank account, because every job that I had, I was either let go of, and then the one job that I did have, I finally had found another job at another clothing store. And I was only there for about 2-3 weeks before I got the job offer, so I had to tell them I'm not coming back, and I felt so bad. I felt so bad because I just had started the job and I was like, I'm dedicated, I'm going to be here, I'm going to show up. But when opportunity calls, you have to pack up and leave. Like, you have to go. You can't think about what other people are going to think about you, because yeah, you want to do it in the correct way. But when the opportunity calls and God gives you opportunity, you want to walk in that opportunity. And so, Yeah, I had to call them and tell them I was not coming back. That was the hardest things to do because I'm not very, very confrontational. It's not like it was a confrontational situation, but just telling somebody that you're not showing up for work anymore, I kind of felt bad at that. I didn't give my 2 weeks notice. But done with that spill. Yeah, so I got the job opportunity, and then, yeah, I was saying that I was broke. I was broke, but this is why family is so important. My aunt and my mother pitched in to help me find an apartment, to help me pay for an apartment. I just had to find an apartment and find a good deal. So I found a deal where I get 2 months, I believe, free, because I wasn't even going to be in Utah until the end of October. So there was a month and some change that I wouldn't be there. So the apartment was empty. So I get 2 months free rent. I wouldn't have to pay for. I just would have to pay like the deposit. And I found a good apartment that was close by because I didn't have a car at the time as well. So I found a apartment that was close to my job where I was able to walk or use the tracks. And I've never used the tracks before, so that was another thing that I had to go up against. But my aunt and my mother was from New York, so they kind of helped me figure it out. And yeah, everything happened so fast after that. And we came down to Utah. They helped me pack my apartment, and I was just so grateful. And so after I got here, after it all sunk in, when I tell you the journey has been of me really heavily relying on faith that I would be able to get a job, God would provide me with a job, faith that I would have the money and finances to move down to Utah, faith that I was capable enough to do this. Excuse me, that I was capable enough to do this job. I don't know. They say you feel like an imposter syndrome, and I think that's what I was feeling. Like when I came down here, I didn't think I was good enough to do this job. That I was going to be able to do this job. And so when my family left me, I was kind of drowning in those emotions of, am I going to be able to do this job? My mother gave more to see me get this job opportunity. My aunt gave me her time, her money, her resources to help me move down here. And so my focus was to get past the 60-day probation that I had at work, because I didn't want to be told at the end of the day that we had to let you go because you couldn't fulfill these duties. And so, you know, every time I get up and have to go to work, it kind of felt like dread, because I'm like, are they going to let me go? Because I'm not up to par with the job, with the responsibilities that this job requires. And so there were times where I'm in the bathroom crying. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, this job was so hard. It was so different from where I saw myself going. And so I would cry, I would pray, and I didn't tell my mom really how I was feeling in the beginning, that I wasn't really feeling like I wasn't gonna make it, because I didn't want her to, I didn't want to disappoint her. And so in the beginning, I was kind of dealing with the emotions alone until a little after probation, I started opening up when I got past that, and God gave me the strength to go through this process. And so the journey has been one where God has provided everything I needed at the exact time that it was supposed to be, and my family was there to help me at every step of the way. And so I guess the reason for what I hope you get out of this today is that, you know, sometimes you just got to take a leap of faith, even though you can't see what's on the end, because you never know how it can go for you and what opportunities lie in a wait for you. And I'm still on the journey, and I'm still, reliant on God, reliant on my family. And the process hasn't been easy, but God has provided everything that I needed in that moment. I didn't even have to pay for a bed. I had a blow up bed for a little while, and then a coworker, provided me with the bed that I have right now. So when I say God has provided every step of the way, it's just sometimes it takes us to have a faith of a mustard seed for Him to intercede on our behalf. And so I'm just proud of myself for taking that leap. And when I think back about it, now I'm starting to cry. It has been a tremendous journey. One that I want to trade because it showed me that I am capable. I am capable, and God can make anything that seems impossible possible. That's it for today's episode. I hope you can join me for the next episode. I will be posting every Wednesday, so stay tuned for more details. Bye.